Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we are currently very close to landing here, and we are, well, paused, because we're very close. So let's go ahead and resume this. We're going to have to burn all of this fuel off, but it looks to me like, okay, we're landing there? That's not exactly where I want to be. Let's just go ahead and burn all of this right now. Okay, so that's now gone. We're going to stage. Okay, I'm not sure what blew up there, but it seems fine. We're going to go ahead and extend our landing legs. I think it was just struts that blew up there. So that should be okay. And now I want to turn us this direction and just burn out over here a little bit. Watching... Oh, hang on. No. I don't want to be retrograde right now. Stop it. Stop it. We're coming back over here. Okay. And we're just pushing this up and past. Cool. Now we want to be retrograde. Our suicide burn countdown is very shortly. So let's get in position for that. And we'll burn this at about 2 seconds. Okay, so like right now. So we're bringing that on down here. And this should be quite close. But we're going to be passing it a little bit here. We can maybe do another corrective burn on the way in. I'm just watching this number here and being like, it's a bit yikes to do a corrective burn right now. We're just going to hold off for a bit. Cool. Okay, nice. Seismic data. I like it. Hopefully we get more of that. And at this point, we can now think about doing a bit of a corrective burn. Let's bring this on that direction. Cool. And then we're going to want to overshoot this slightly, heading off over, I think, this direction. Yeah. Okay, that'll do for now. Cool. Let's position back retrograde and bring this on in. We're going to commence our burn here in 3, 2, 1, now. Slightly before 0 seconds there. And that was deliberate. Okay. We're bringing it on in again. Okay. Once again, slightly below 0 or before 0 seconds. We're probably going to have to do one more corrective burn here. So let's just bring this on down until we've got a decent amount of time here, like 20 seconds or so. Okay, we're currently going up. So let's bring this over, not exactly this direction. This is the opposite direction I expected it to be. Okay. There. We'll bring this around. All the way around, apparently. And commence our burn here. Cool. There we go. That was a little bit spicy, but it seems to be reasonably fine. I'm going to throttle down our burn here and put it onto stability assist. Okay. There we go. That's looking much better. Let's go into this mode here. The sun is currently there, which is slightly awkward. Sure. But this is looking reasonably fine. Let's just start this deceleration. Cool. And we're just going to gently bring this on in. We're no longer worried about this number at all. And... yeah... we need to accelerate a little bit here. Cool. Let's let that fall. And we're on our final approach now. Cool. So we're bringing this on in here. 7 meters per second. We picked up some horizontal speed. We can work on bleeding that off a little bit. There we go. There's still a little bit of horizontal there. And let's accelerate a little bit here, just a smidge. Cool. Looks good. Absolutely. Beautiful. Landing about 20 meters away from our target. I like it. Okay, so with that done, of course, all we need to do here is deliver the ionographer. So we're going to have a Gilbus EVA here, and then get back in. In fact, we can grab our surface sample. The only reason we had Gilbus do that was for the XP. Milnerd will now EVA and grab another surface sample, and then we're going to drop off our EVA pack. Nope, that'll have to be in here. Okay, there we go. We'll also drop off our parachute, and we'll grab the ionographer. And from here, we should just be able to drop straight on down, and we can extend this ladder, I suppose. But we're just going to head on over. Cool. And we're going to drop off our ionographer. Then we're going to head home. That's the only reason we're here, is to drop off the ionographer, and this should be the final landing on Moon for a while. Cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove our helmet. No, I'm kidding. We're going to drop this off. Perfect. Okay. So the ionographer should be active now. Or activating. You good, ionographer? The ionographer is good. Fantastic. So we're going to head back. The question is, can we jump up there, or are we going to have to fetch our EVA pack? Either way is probably fine. I'm guessing we can jump up there. As long as Milner doesn't fall like that. Okay, let's just grab the EVA pack. At this point, that'll be easier. Cool. So, EVA on, and up we go. Cool. We'll grab on, and board. Excellent. And now it's time to head home. That is all we needed to do here, is grab our ionographer. So, off we go. We're going to retract our landing legs, and we're going to immediately start heading on over and getting some horizontal speed. Do we have enough vertical speed yet? Not really. So we're just going to park about here for the time being. Cool. And again, we're looking to bring back all of this if we can. That would be ideal. And our apoapsis height is, well, actually, we are getting closer to our apoapsis, so we're going to have to get additional verticality here. There we go. We're still mostly getting horizontal speed. But now, time to apoapsis is increasing. Let's just pop over to prograde for now. Time to apoapsis is decreasing at prograde. Okay, so we do just need more vertical speed, is all there is to it. We'll park about here and call that good. And then we'll push our apoapsis up to about 15 kilometers. Once our time to apoapsis starts dramatically increasing, then we should be fine to just lock to prograde. But for the moment, this'll do. Okay. Our roll is trying to put us at a slightly awkward trajectory, but it seems fine. Excellent. So our apoapsis height is now 4 kilometers. We're 30 seconds to apoapsis. We definitely want to get some additional altitude here because 4 kilometers isn't exactly safe. So that'll be fine. And we'll lock to prograde. Honestly, I feel like about now will do. We've built up a decent amount of vertical speed. And we should pull the prograde marker over this way a bit if we can. I mean, we don't have to be on the correct inclination, I suppose. It'll be fine. Cool. So time to apoapsis is increasing here, and we can see that our vertical speed is decreasing, so this is good. This means that we are about where we want to be. So that is magnificent. We are not looking to stage either of these, if at all possible. We'd like to recover all of that. So we're going to change these around like so. Beautiful. And our apoapsis height is now 10 kilometers. And we're just targeting 15 here. 13, 14, and 15. Cool. So we will shut down our engine now. And at the apoapsis here, we will simply circularize. That was, I think, a little much. Yes. Not much needed at all here. Perfect. 36.7 meters per second to get that done. Let's position for that burn. And for the moment, I don't think we can warp. No, we can warp. Okay, cool. Hello, Kerbal. So we're going to want to burn prograde. Actually, let's look at this timing here. Basically at, not quite at the apoapsis, basically about here is when we're going to want to do our return burn. Okay. So this will be about 50 seconds. Let's tick on forward here. 30 seconds. 20. 10. And let's commence circularization now. Beautiful. There we go. That'll do. And from here, we're going to plot our return trajectory about here. We'll prograde. And that's, of course, going to push a bunch of that stuff out. But we just want to bring our periapsis down, get this free-ish return trajectory. And that's 42 kilometers. Let's just target around 30 for now. 30 should be more than sufficient. Realistically, we can probably get a lot less than that. We've got a decent amount of delta V left, so we're going to be able to do a pretty good re-entry burn. But that's fine. We'll just get into position for the burn. It is, of course, going to be a pure prograde burn, and let's just warp. So we're going to be going to Kerbal here in just a moment. About a minute here. And we'll just continue to warp on forward. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, mark. Cool. And off home we go. Theoretically, this is the final burn that would get us home. But we're going to do another burn because we've got plenty of delta V in this thing. So that'll be absolutely fine. And let's just head home here. About 40 more seconds. Jebediah, Milnard, and Gilbis are, of course, going to be home soon. We did EVA on the moon, right? Oh yeah, we planted a flag on the moon. Cool. Okay, so we're just going to proceed here, and then... Oh, hello, there's Minmus right there. Just that tiny little speck. That's where we're going next. We're going to set up our colony on Minmus. Now, Minmus is pretty much going to be exactly the same characteristically as the moon. It's basically the same delta V to get there, but landing on Minmus is a lot lower delta V. So that's definitely something to note. I'm going to get rid of this, and we're just going to bring that down to 30 kilometers. Looks good. We'll set Kerbal as our focus here. And sometime around here is when we want to do our radial retrograde burn. So just bring that on down and then radial it a bit. And just yoink between these. We've got like 1900 meters per second. So that sounds pretty good. Yep, we can do something along the lines of... along the lines of this would be absolutely ideal. And then we've got enough for a braking or landing burn left over. This will use up a lot of our existing fuel stores, but certainly not all of them. So that'll be great. We'll position up over this way. Close enough. And we're out of here. Changing sphere of influence can be a bit laggy with the I'm not sure if it's Kopernicus or if it is Parallax causing that, but it's one of those mods. Okay, we don't want to be going to prograde here. Absolutely not. So here we are back at Kerbal, and we're going to commence this burn in about 50 seconds. Cool. So we're just going to warp on forward. 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 10 seconds, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Had some awkward loading there at the time that we started our burn, but it's okay. Cool. So this burn is going to be about a 2-minute burn, right? And we're just going to position here. Interesting that this is basically a pro-target burn. That's very interesting indeed to me, anyway. We're going to warp on forward as we commence this burn, because we know that this is a kind of lengthy one. I'm not going to jettison these tanks if we can get away with it, and I think we can. Cool. So we're going to run out of fuel in the tanks, of course. And then we're just on this tank as of now. Okay, and we're just going to adjust our heading here a little bit. Cool. Something kind of like that. And watching this burn occur. Our current periapsis is quite high, but that's fine. We can always do a re-entry burn if we need to. And we're quite safe here, I think. Okay, we did just enter atmosphere. Noted. So I want to be in orbit, or actually in surface mode here. Cool. And we're just watching this periapsis for now. It will start dropping soon. It went up for a little bit there, but now it's dropping. Beautiful. Okay, we'll call that good. Now we're just going to park retrograde. And we're definitely going to retract our solar panels. I should have done that earlier. I'm a little bit surprised that they survived in the atmosphere there. But, I mean, we're not very low in the atmosphere, so I guess it's okay. This is still saying we have the same amount of delta V. I don't think that's accurate. I think the game is confused about what we're doing right now, because we did burn off the majority of that fuel. So we've got a little bit left for a re-entry burn if we really feel like we need to slow down later on in this re-entry. And we've got a little left for a landing burn if we feel like we need to slow down for that as well. So that'll be fine. But as far as our actual colony on Minmus goes, it's pretty much going to be the exact same thing on Moon. It's just that we're going to have way too much delta V. We can probably cut down on our delta V a little bit, but it might actually be faster just to not. I don't know. We'll think about it. For the time being, we're going to physics warp our re-entry here. And we can see our periapsis and apoapsis continuing to drop as we lose potential energy to atmospheric drag. Fantastic. We're still accelerating over the surface here, but not by a lot. And we're just chilling in the atmosphere for a good amount of time here. Our periapsis is going to be impacting the ground reasonably soon, though. And we're just continuing to drop into the thicker and thicker portions of the atmosphere. Excellent. We're definitely not returning from this. We are certainly landing. And there we go. We now have our landing information. Cool. Well, we kind of have landing information. Kind of. Okay. Well, we are currently at about 50 kilometers above the surface, and there we go. We're starting to see these heating effects, and now we can see the drag caused by these heat shields slowing us down tremendously. And that's great. We're now at 44 kilometers above the surface, and we're starting to enter the dark side now. Okay, I'm going to come out of physics warp here. We're kind of a ball of plasma at this point. We really probably shouldn't have a signal, but we do. KSP doesn't do anything about that. So we're currently moving at about 1,800 meters per second. Like, this is not very fast at all. We're doing pretty well here. We could commence a landing burn here. Or rather, a re-entry burn, just to slow us down further. But I don't think it's necessary. We're still 30 kilometers up and only moving at 1.7 meters per second. Or kilometers per second, I should say. 1.7 meters per second would be insane. And I'd be concerned about how long it would take to land at that point. But it looks like we're going to have splash down here. That is absolutely fine. 1,400 meters per second to go here. And we're continuing to slow down. 1,300. 1,200. 1,100 meters per second. 1 kilometer per second. 900 meters per second. 800. Drogues are out. 600 meters per second. Beautiful. From here, we can physics warp again. Mains are out. And let's see how slow we get going here. It should be fine. We've got very little weight in this thing. Excellent. So down we go here. We are currently about 3 kilometers up. Beautiful. The drogues deploy, slowing us down to about 50 meters per second. We're 1 kilometer up. The mains deploy, bringing us down to about 8 meters per second. Okay, that's maybe a little speedy, but it doesn't really matter. So we're just going to continue to drop here. We're 300 meters up. Okay, I'm going to come out of physics warp, I think, actually, once we get past 100 meters here. There we go. And let's commence a landing burn just to slow us down that extra little bit here. Cool. And there we go. So we can go ahead and recover this. That was a successful ionographer delivery mission. And now we can start setting up our colony on Minmus. And that'll be great. So step 1, of course, is going to be getting the colony core out there. And it takes slightly more delta V to get to Minmus, but so much less to land. So that should be, in theory, a good thing. Come on, you can load up KSP. Any moment now. Any moment now. Wow, this one's taking a very long time. There we go. So that is complete. Let's check mission control here. Attach a new part to satellite in orbit of Minmus. Repair a satellite in orbit of the moon. Surface deployed seismic sensor science from the surface of the moon. That is something we'd have to actively do. So I think I'm going to hold off on that for the moment. And instead, we're just going to evaluate our colony core for Minmus. It almost certainly has more delta V than it needs. But do we want to spend a bunch of time trying to dial that in? So here's our colony core. It is lacking the second stage. This is basically built on the second stage. And we've got this really awkward fairing. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. So, realistically, I think it's fine. I think we just do this as is. We can almost certainly cut the amount of fuel in this tank, but having a bigger tank here isn't a bad thing either. So, realistically, we do have a Prototyne Hex here. So we would just need a new engineer to launch in that. We're just going to have each of these for now staffed with an engineer and a scientist. just because we don't want to pay a bunch of money to employ a bunch of Kerbals at this moment. So let's hop out of here and hire an engineer. We don't need a scientist, just an engineer. So let's see here. Asing or Cardass? Or Morig? Well, we should probably max out the stupidity trait. So that would be this. I don't think that actually does anything, to be honest, but there we go. We'll hire Asing here, and Asing's mission is going to be to go live on Minmus. Perfect. We know we've got plenty of scientists and pilots. Well, actually, we've got 1, 2, 3, plus Bob. Yeah, we've got plenty. So no problems there. That'll be fine. So it is now time to launch our colony core to Minmus, but that is a next episode sort of thing. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, James, Shadowwolf, MLohan80, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Unisil, Kadra, Rogue Corvid, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.